There's been small but at times violent protests against COVID lockdowns. And there is debate inside the Liberal and National parties especially about how far governments should go.
We will not comply!
And we should not comply.
But one federal backbencher takes this debate beyond what many see as acceptable limits.
It's time we stop spreading fear and acknowledge some facts. Masks do not work.
Freedom is important. Thank you.
What I'm hearing now and what people are ringing my office saying that he's gone too far.
And it's not only masks and lockdowns, but also George Christensen's vaccine scepticism that is alarming members of his own party.
As leaders in the community, we have an obligation to set a standard. I would say in the last week, his style of approach, his recent speech in the Parliament was questionable.
George Christensen has declined to talk to 7:30 about his future plans. And in the heart of his North Queensland electorate, there's growing speculation about what he's really up to.
I mean, life after Parliament is what George is probably focusing on right now.
What do you reckon, does it?
Exterminate!
First elected to federal parliament in 2010, the member for Dawson displayed a talent for media stunts as well as an attraction to far-right causes, such as this anti-Islam rally.
We have a voice. It is not a voice of hatred, violence and extremism, but a voice of warning.
George Christensen's political career was shaken with the revelation federal police were investigating his regular travel and cash transfers to the Philippines, leading Labor to dub him the member for Manila. Federal police later said they found no evidence of wrongdoing.
George for Prime Minister!
He retained his Northern Queensland seat in the 2019 federal election with an increased majority. The member for Dawson has since announced plans to retire from parliamentary life, but has, if anything, stepped up his social media presence. With the launch of an Australia First branded newsletter, often taking on so-called culture war issues, particularly in the United States.
I am a member of the Australian Parliament, which is the equivalent of a congressman, and I'm a big fan of yours, Mr. President.
Certainly some of the recent rhetoric around lockdowns, around masks and vaccines have ended up on conservative or even you might call far-right US publications. So there's certainly a symbiotic relationship going on there that we'll have to see how it plays out.
I mean, the ridiculous sort of stuff.
And while he declined to speak to the ABC, Mr. Christensen did make himself available to the US Fox News network earlier today.
I'm very pro-police normally, but I've got to tell you, a lot of people have become very, very sceptical about the police. But it's not the only overreach. I mean, they're now policing in New South Wales and other states who you hook up with.
Breaking ranks with the party line on COVID lockdowns and vaccinations hasn't surprised George Christensen's local mayor.
We are used to the George speak, you know, we're used to the inflammatory process which George goes about making a statement. But you've got to vehemently defend the right of a democratically elected member of Parliament to question the processes that he sees aren't right at the moment.
Lots of some adverse effect.
George Christensen denies he's an anti-vaxxer, although he does champion his vaccine hesitancy, with this video from April still posted on his website.
I think that caution's always advised when something's rushed, and that's why people should have individual choice in this. As for me, I'm not getting a vaccine anytime soon.
This sort of rhetoric alarms the LNP state member for the northern part of George Christensen's electorate.
To what extent do you think George Christensen has a responsibility to stop saying what he's saying about vaccines?
I believe that everyone has the right to their opinion and to say what they want to say, but when it is placing fear and it is used in a way that is not constructive, I'm very concerned.
And the state Labor MP for the southern part of the Dawson electorate in the regional city of Mackay has even harsher words.
People are actually starting to feel quite fearful. Nobody wants to die, and People are becoming confused about the message that he's spreading, especially older people who have put faith in what he has had to say. So this is becoming dangerous.
Restore our freedoms. End this madness.
The coalition needs George Christensen's vote to maintain their majority on the floor of Parliament.
It does not support misinformation.
And it appears unlikely the party will take any further disciplinary action against him, giving the member for Dawson another 6 months or so to take advantage of his parliamentary platform as a member of the coalition.
The member for Dawson has clearly articulated he is not going to go quietly. What I would say right now is his views are not necessarily reflective of the community's views that he represents.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.